If there's one creature that defines Jurassic Park, it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex. That thunderous roar, the ripple in the water, the pounding footsteps that turned movie theaters into heart-pounding survival zone. But what if I told you that, across decades of films and shows, the franchise hasn't given us just one T-Rex, but seven. Seven entirely different beasts. Some iconic, others forgotten. One of them? So dangerous it was never even released on Isla Sorna, and today we're going to uncover the untold stories of every single one. Because in the world of Jurassic Park, survival isn't guaranteed. The moment she steps out of that broken fence in the original 1993 film, Rexy wasn't just a dinosaur anymore. She became a cinematic force. No creature, real or fictional, has managed to balance terror and admiration the way she has. From her iconic chase scene with the Jeep, to the bone-chilling roar heard under a stormy sky, she became more than a movie monster. She became the face of Jurassic Park. But Rexy's story didn't stop there. Across the decades, we watched her evolve, from the central attraction of John Hammond's dream to the aging warrior of Jurassic World dominion. She didn't just survive corporate sabotage, genetic hybrids, volcanic eruptions, and extinction events. She faced all of them head-on, again and again. By the time she fought the Indominus Rex, she was already over 30 years old, a senior by dinosaur standards. Still, she stood her ground, even against a creature designed to be faster, smarter, and stronger. She fought with fury, instinct, and history behind her. And yes, she had a little help, but what truly set her apart was her refusal to surrender. Throughout the franchise, Rexy endured wounds no predator should survive. Gas poisoning, Giganotosaurus attacks, and still returned in Dominion. When she appears alongside Buck and Doe, her posture says everything. She's slower, weathered. There's a depth in her eyes that tells us she knows her time is ending. And yet there's reverence in that final scene. She's not just the last of her line. She's passing the torch. Rexy became more than an animal. She became a legend, reminding us that among clones and monsters, nothing commands respect like a classic Tyrannosaurus Rex. He appeared, roared, and then vanished. The green T-Rex from Jurassic Park 3 remains one of the most controversial figures in the entire franchise. With only 30 seconds of screen time, he was introduced only to be immediately killed by the Spinosaurus in a confrontation that still sparks debate decades later. But what many don't know is that this T-Rex wasn't a juvenile. According to official production manuals, he was a fully grown adult and likely one of the 7 original T-Rex clones on Isla Sorna, physically capable, boldly designed, and built to dominate. His green scales, somewhat similar to Buck's coloring, visually set him apart from any other Rex in the series paleontologically. His death scene makes no sense. A Spinosaurus snapping a T-Rex's neck with a single bite? Highly questionable. A Tyrannosaurid's neck is among the strongest parts of its body. Built to withstand crushing bites and enormous force, fans strongly argue that this was a narrative injustice. Some even theorize that he was the father of little Edie from Camp Cretaceous, which would make her obsession with the Spinosaurus personal, a genetic memory, vengeance carried in the blood. He wasn't just another Rex. He could have been one of the most iconic, if only he had been given a chance. They weren't bred for spotlights or visitor attraction. Buck and Doe, unlike Rexy, who was raised in isolation for performance, Buck and Doe operated with instinct sharpened by survival. When their infant, Junior, is captured to lure them, we briefly glimpse Buck and Doe alive in the Biosyn Valley, but Junior is missing. Some believe he died, others suggest he left to claim his own territory, a natural rite of passage for young T-Rexes. Either way, this trio proved something no other did. Tyrannosaurs are more than brutes. They're strategic, emotional, and capable of holding grudges. They didn't just survive Isla Sorna. They owned it, as a family forged in blood and fury. Not every monster is made of teeth and fury. Some are shaped by survival, by loss, and by love. Big Eatie, the T-Rex from Camp Cretaceous, is unlike any other in the franchise. She isn't defined only by her strength, but by the emotional weight she carries. A mother in a world designed to break her. Born and raised on the relentless Manta Island, one of the harshest environments ever shown in the Jurassic universe, Big Eatie became a master of endurance. Her body tells her story: textured scales in deep bluish-gray tones with dark stripes, and a twisted neck caused by a healed vertebral fracture, likely from a brutal fight with the island's Spinosaurus. But it's her relationship with her daughter, little Edie, that elevates the creature into a character. While most T-Rex in the series are portrayed as solitary, Big Eatie formed a visible maternal bond. She fed, protected and guided her offspring through dense forests and chaotic enclosures. She had a purpose that went beyond bloodlust. Then tragedy struck. Captured by Manta Corp, Big Eatie and her daughter were drugged, caged, and forced to fight each other. What follows is one of the most human moments in the entire franchise. Even sedated, Big Eatie hesitated. Her movements were slow. Not from weakness, but from resistance. She refused to harm her young, and when the chemicals wore off, she approached little Edie not with dominance, but with an offering, a piece of meat. Not just food, but forgiveness. A silent apology. In Chaos Theory, it is revealed that she is eventually captured and placed in confinement on the mainland. Little Edie's fate? Unknown. But this T-Rex earned her place in Jurassic history not by the number of enemies she crushed, but by facing the one opponent even monsters fear. Being forced to abandon what they love most, Big Eatie wasn't just a survivor. She was the heart of something few would ever expect from a predator, a family. Some tyrannosaurs were born for the spotlight. Ember was born to disappear. Ember wasn't designed for display or control, but for perfection. While other tyrannosaurs in the franchise reached about 44 feet in length, 17 feet in height, and weighed around 9 tons, Ember is considered the most realistic representation of a T-Rex because of his powerful build. If a real T-Rex, measuring 40 to 43 feet long and 11 to 13 feet tall, could weigh between 23,000 and 26,000 pounds, Ember is a colossus at 50 feet long, 20 feet tall, and weighing between 33,000 and 36,000 pounds. He was the largest T-Rex ever portrayed in the franchise, and also the most dangerous. This was confirmed by the director himself. His bite force is far greater than that of any tyrannosaur from the previous films. Whenever he appears on screen, he looks absolutely massive. There's no denying it, especially since the movie takes place in an altered reality. We first see him in Jurassic World, Rebirth, where he only shows up in quick flashes. Huge footprints near a river, shadows slipping between trees. The camera never lingers. Ember wasn't made to be seen. He was made to be feared. His name comes from his skin, charred yellow scales with blackened edges, like embers glowing beneath a dying fire. But his appearance isn't what sets him apart. It's the way he thinks. Unlike Rexy's reckless aggression or Buck's reluctant instinct, Ember was calm. He observed his prey, waited, studied, and when he attacked, it was with the precision of a sniper. There's one scene that still gives fans chills. A group of humans standing on a riverbank. Unaware he's there, Ember doesn't strike right away. He silently slips into the water, imitating the behavior of a crocodile. No roar, just a blink. Then, chaos. He was never released on Isla Sorna, not because he couldn't be contained, but because once introduced, he would never be stopped. In Jurassic World, Rebirth, he was buried inside a remote testing island. Some say he's still there. Others believe he escaped. But alive or dead, Ember represents the final evolution of a chilling question. What happens when humanity attempts to create its own apex predator? Without ethics, limits, or safeguards? He wasn't a mistake. He was the destiny we were always heading toward. 7 T-Rex, 7 legacies, but not a single one truly alike. Each left its mark not just through size or strength, but through story, through emotion, through the role it played in a world that kept trying to control nature. Rexy is the icon, the aging warrior who reminds us that tradition still holds weight. The green male from JP3 is the forgotten tragedy, potential wasted for spectacle. Kamalona embodies love in a place built on cruelty. Ember is the forbidden future, evolution, perfected, and abandoned. Together they form not just a collection of clones, but a spectrum of archetypes. The elder, the outcast, the guardian, the heir, the mother, and the monster. In a fictional universe filled with hybrids and lab-made horrors, one truth persists. Nothing captivates like the king. For over 3 decades, the Tyrannosaurus Rex has remained the beating heart of Jurassic Park. From film to animation, from island jungles to city streets, these creatures have evolved from simple antagonists into symbols of power, loss, instinct, and even love. Some, like Rexy, found honor in survival. Others, like Ember, were buried before they could rise. And yet every single one of them showed us something human: rage, protection, vengeance, patience. In trying to control them, mankind didn't just recreate a dinosaur. We created reflections of ourselves. Maybe that's why the T-Rex keeps coming back. Because no matter how advanced hybrids become, no matter how far science pushes the limits, there's something about the classic tyrant king that commands respect. It's not just nostalgia. It's recognition, a reminder that some legends never go extinct. So now the question goes to you. Which T-Rex was your favorite and why? Was it Rexy's resilience, Ember's menace, Kamelona's hidden heart? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the legacy of these 7 titans, hit that like button, subscribe for more prehistoric lore, and share this video with someone who grew up fearing that ripple in the water as much as you did. Because in a world that keeps creating new monsters, the original never loses its crown. Thanks for watching. And remember, extinction isn't the end. It's only the beginning of the story.